ना कोई किसी का बाप और भाई, ना कोई मित्र प्यारा, ना कोई किसी का चाचा ताऊ, ना कोई और सहारा। दुनिया है दो दिन का मेल, कोई आ रहा कोई जा रहा, कोई योगी कोई भोगी बन के अपना कर्म निभा रहा.
I love it. Chris, and again, what was the meaning behind that song?
So the meaning is all we came here on this earth to do is what we have to do, the work, right?
Yes.
We don't have any relations. It's all man-made, mother, father, all those things. They are all temporary. What we are here to do is the work that is assigned to us by the God.
Nice.
That's the thing.
I like it. That's a first for us. I don't think anybody's ever going to do that one again.
Let's see, because it's folk, right?
No, I loved it. It was great. Thanks so much, Krishna.
No problem.
Really appreciate you being on the show. I know that you've been, I guess, a little bit nervous to be on the show.
Yeah, I'm nervous to be on the camera, not on the mic.
On the camera. That's
On the
right, because you
camera.
were saying that you were totally fine with the mic, but not the camera.
Yes, 'cause
Why?
back in school, I used to host assemblies. I used to do comedy.
Really?
Yeah.
Stand up?
Yes.
Really? Before
Yes.
construction?
Yeah, no, before construction. It was like a gig. You know, I was a kid. I was in school. I used to make fun of my teachers. So I get up on the stage, school stage, right, in front of the whole assembly, and I used to do this.
But there's people on camera phones or cameras?
No.
No?
Back in India, they don't allow phone in schools. I allow.
That's even better.
Yeah, that is.
They're just doing that law now in some schools.
Yes,
Here.
and I think that is the best.
I agree.
Yeah, you know, that's how you learn. Like, I'm not on my phone the whole time. The first phone that I bought for myself was when I was 16.
Yeah.
I never had a phone before.
I'll beat you. I was probably in my 20s the first time I
Yeah,
had a
were
cell
you?
phone. Yeah, it's a different age group, right? That's
Yes,
why,
of
right? Krishna, thank you so much for being on the show. So the business again is called Mahakaal.
Yes, Mahakaal.
Mahakaal, and it's builders, and that's the actual name of the business, and it's www.mahakaalbuilders.ca. It's MAHAKAAL builders.ca. You can reach out at info@mahakaalbuilders.ca, and on Instagram it's mahakaal.builders.
Yes.
All right, so let me do a few little shout outs. I got to just wrap out. Carlos, I'm wearing his tee, Caveman Landscapes. Totally cool guy, down to earth, does great work. His episode's kind of funny because you're talking about phones. He had a funny story in that episode where he talked about he had a brand new iPhone and then he went to the bathroom on a job site and the phone went somewhere that it shouldn't have gone. And then he ended up not retrieving the phone because he wasn't going to go in there and try to get the phone. So he lost a brand new iPhone. It was actually a good show. He shared a lot of inside information about landscaping and hardscaping and stuff like that. So thank you for the tea. I appreciate it. I also want to do another shout out to Tony Vieira and the crew there at JD Contracting Services, Inc. Enough respect for Tony and his crew, his family, and all the hard work that they provide for the friends and the family, for all his clients, making sure that the work is done properly and on time. You can reach out to them on IG at GD_contracting. His number is 905-564-7772, and his mobile is 416-617-1004. His email is info@gdcontracting.ca, and his website is www.gdcontracting.ca. And of course, you can listen to their story right here on this show, on show number 247, where Tony and Dave share a lot of insight about the business. So keep up the great work, guys. Really appreciate it. I want to share another story, a little story before we get going talking about you. Alonzo, the Clueless Framer, he actually shared me a little post. Someone rear-ended the Rivian, the other electric car.
Hummer.
So it was a slight rear end. Like it was a slight rear end. It didn't look like
Bumper dumper.
basically bumper. And I used to have, and I was mentioning this to Alonzo, I used to have an old 87, 90 Nissan King Cab truck. For whatever reason, one year I got rear-ended like 3 times. It became a routine. I would get rear-ended, the bumper would be bent, and I would only have to replace the bumper because the bumper did the job that it was supposed to do. So by the 3rd time, I was just telling the person that I got rear-ended by, I was like, listen, it's $350. You want to go through insurance, or we want to just take care of it right here? They rip off the bumper, they put a new bumper on. That's it, it's done. He sends me this story where this EV gets rear-ended. Nobody's really talked about EVs being in accidents and what happens. So they look at the damage, and it's not much. They're like thinking, okay, this is nothing. So then they started going through the insurance. The person who hit the person who's driving the EV thought, okay, maybe this is $1,600, maybe $2,000 at the most. The truck went into service to a proper dealership. They assessed everything. Came back with a bill of $42,000.
Holy shit.
$42,000. So
I don't believe it.
the other person's insurance capped out at 50 grand. So basically the cost to repair the vehicle and the cost of the rental that the person was driving for not driving the EV at the time totaled $50,000. So we never really talk about like EVs getting into accidents. And then since there's battery packs all along the belly of the vehicle and you're getting rear-ended and all these sensors and bumpers now and all this other stuff that's going on in vehicles and how tech savvy they are, you get rear-ended. It's not like my old days of the Nissan where you get rear-ended, pop off 4 bolts and you get a new bumper and it's done. Today, it's like a world of costs.
You know, they are complicated, man. There's so many wirings and stuff.
All
I
kinds
don't
of
like
stuff.
EVs. I don't like EVs.
I'm not a fan of them for a variety of reasons, but that's just one more reason now showing up that for me not to like them because could you imagine getting that bill? And now from my understanding, there's a little bit of a dispute going on between the insurance companies because of this.
There is going
And
to
I'm sure, but they probably all thought, oh, this is going to be about maybe 2,000 or 3,000, maybe 5,000 at the most or whatever.
Yeah.
$42,000.
That's a lot of money.
Krishna, so how long you been in the business?
5 years. I came to Canada back in 2019 as a student.
As a student, studying?
I was studying computer at the time.
Okay.
But I didn't like it. That was just a way to get in this country, right?
Okay.
I came here, I looked around, I see, and then I went into human psychology. That is one thing that I like, right?
Yeah.
I went in there, then all this COVID bullshit, all these things happening. So I thought, yeah, let's just drop this thing. And then at the same time, I was working with the handyman, local handyman. I was helping him out after hours, you know, for some cash to pay
Yeah, of
my
course.
tuitions and stuff.
Yeah.
So I liked construction. I took construction, but the bad thing that happened is COVID, right?
Yes.
So it was all online. I was studying on my laptop, and that I don't like. I'm not a tech guy. I'm on my phone all the time. I get it, but not on, you know, I don't study on laptops. I need paper books. So what I did is I found a construction company who were paying cash
Okay.
to work with them because I cannot work more than 20 hours if
Okay.
I'm on papers.
Yeah, of course.
They hired me. I worked 7 days a week with them. Every single day I was there. From 2019, 20, 21, I didn't take a day off. I did not get sick.
Stay close to the mic. And I got no problem with that. Like it's totally because you're working, you're hardworking, and a hardworking person in the industry is a lot more valuable than a person who has legitimate everything and doesn't show up and doesn't work hard.
Yeah.
Right. We have all of the nicknames that are attached to everybody that
Yes.
does these certain things. Right.
Yes.
So you didn't take a day off while you were still hustling, but how much construction did you know?
I started, first I started with the handyman, right?
That's it.
I worked
Fixing
with
little
him.
things here and there.
Yeah, I worked with him for 2-3 months. I learned how to be on machines. I learned how to drive tools, you know, small
But I mean,
things.
Krishna, honestly, man, like I've seen your work.
Yeah.
Like it's solid work.
You know, because I started last year, so I'm just getting, you know, these rental things, all these things. And now I have few secretive projects that are coming up.
Yeah.
But
The word's getting out.
yeah, the word's getting out. And all my business is word of mouth. I paid few bucks for Instagram ads for sure.
Yeah.
But I never got any business from Instagram. And nothing else. Nothing
Can I
like
ask how much money you spent on the ads on Instagram?
that. Yeah, $20.
That's it. So there's
That's it.
nothing.
That's it.
You just experimented.
Yes, experimented.
But
yes.
you never got a lead.
One person called me, but you know, the price, the budget they had was unrealistic. They wanted washroom done, 3-piece washroom done in 8 grand. Holy shit!
Brand new.
Brand new, yeah.
8 grand.
Yeah, it was like the guy on Instagram who gives you can build a basement in 40 grand.
I don't even know where they get these numbers from.
don't know.
I blame TV, but like
Yeah, I blame YouTube.
it's just like they convince people that it can be done for this much.
Yes.
I don't know any self-respecting contractors that
DIYers,
can. Yeah.
DIYers say you can do this much.
Well, then let them do it.
Yes, of course.
I totally forgot. I gotta let everybody know you brought me some goodies. You brought some treats here for us, which are amazing Indian desserts. Or what are the 2 that you brought?
The desserts.
What are they called?
These are kaju katlis and gulab jamuns.
And what exactly? It's made from milk and
Milk, yes.
Okay, and the other one it looks like a little pastry. It looks like a little.
Yeah, it's made out of some kind of flour and milk and all those things.
Nice. I can't wait to try that. And obviously, you brought me some booze.
Yes.
We welcome Booze on the show here. Do we drink? Sure. We got a liquor license. We'll drink. It doesn't matter. It's all good. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Sorry, I interrupted you. So how did you get from just coming to the country,
Yeah.
just getting your name out there?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm hungry. I want to work. You have work? Please let me work.
Give me work. Yeah.
And then 5 years later, you're running your own jobs and you've got like clients calling you and you're doing amazing work.
Yeah.
How did you make that shift from hungry just to work for somebody else's business to hungry to build your own business?
It's a long story, and I'm ready to tell you.
Then tell me, please.
Yeah. So after 2 months, the guy didn't pay me a single buck for those 2 months. That's what happened. I got shafted, right?
Oh, that's okay.
But the lucky thing, a friend of mine in school, right? He was working with the exterior company, right? A siding company
Yes.
based in Fort Terry.
Okay.
It was 20 minutes drive from my place, but I was ready to do it. So I called them up. I told them, hey, I can work whatever you give. I'm not afraid of height. You want me to get working at height? I'll get working at heights, right? So they called me up. Yeah, come on in. And they asked me, can you handle SR? I said, yes, I can do it. So first day at the job, they told me to cut some soffits. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And I finished up the whole house in one day for the soffits. They just told me how to cut it, how to measure it. That's
And you
it.
did it.
I did it. And the super at the site, he was amazed. They hired me for, they told me we'll give you 20 hours of work on your on check and the rest on cash, right?
Yeah.
And the next day they told me we'll raise you to $17.
Because they saw the potential.
They saw the potential. I told them I can work in winters. I don't mind. I worked in winters. So for 6 months, I worked with that siding company. I learned everything. Vinyl sidings,
Yeah.
of course, right?
Yeah. So that's a huge industry here in Canada. It's a huge
Yes,
industry
it
in
is.
the US
It
as
is.
well, right?
It is, but I don't like winters. I was just working for the money at the time
It's harsh.
because I had to pay my tuitions.
Of course.
'Cause here in Canada, the one thing I don't like about the education system is being an outsider, I have to pay 4 times what a person from Canada pays.
Really?
So, yeah, I was paying 12 grants every 4 months.
For an international student status.
Yes.
Wow.
And,
That's a lot.
yeah, and a Canadian-born child, same class, same course, was paying 2,500, 3 grants every 4 months.
Wow.
So I was hungry for work and for money because I had to pay all these things. I get it. My old man always used to say, I'll pay for your tuitions, don't worry about it. But when I came here, I saw everyone working. It's not like that back in India. So back in India, only 1 or 2 person in a family work.
And what does the rest of the family do?
It's a joint family
Yeah.
type of environment, right?
Yeah.
So in my family, only my dad works.
Are you the only one that immigrated here?
Yeah, in my family, yes.
Okay, so tell me about that, man. Like, how old are you, man? You're young.
I am 23.
You're 23 and you got
Yeah,
an
I'm turning
established...
24 next month, in August.
And you have an established business
Yeah.
coming into this. I've always said this, that immigrants coming to this country are hungrier than the locals that have
Yes.
been raised in this country.
Yes.
When it comes to construction, that's all I'm going to speak about. It's just,
Yeah.
that's why we have the stigma about people getting into the trades. And that's why these guys probably saw you and bumped you up on raise and gave you all the work. And you learned right away when you were told one way how to do it, the first way, and then you learned and you did it. So you're hungry coming in. Meanwhile, you're just basically stepping over the people that have all the opportunity right now, right here.
Yes. The siding company I was working, they laid off 2 of their, the guy who worked with the bender.
Yeah.
They laid them off because I was faster than both of them combined.
And so you picked up the bending no problem as well?
Yes, I love bending.
Really?
Yeah. So, I was doing soffit. I was done with soffits. So the guy who was doing fascia, he was stuck on a bird box, right? So I don't know how to do them, but I just take a look. I made a sketch on a paper. I was like, let me try it. And my super was there. His name is Kelly. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy, right? So
What was the company that you were working for? You want to share?
4 season sightings.
Okay. All right.
Right. They are out of business now. They had a dispute or something like that. I don't know if
that
I
never
can say
happens
this
in
here.
construction. That never happens in
It happens, right? So Kelly was there. Kelly was like, if you can do this, I will make sure to talk Mike, our boss, that he will give you raise for $5 an hour. I was like, I'll do it in 5 minutes. I don't know how that happened, but I did that. I was amazed myself.
Is this luck, Krishna, that just kind of follows you, that you show initiative and all of a sudden opportunity is attached to the initiative?
Yeah, I can say that. And, as a child, I always love building things up. I loved working with my hands. My family owned some farmland back in India. I used to work with my dad was in army, right? So my mother and we used to go to our fields and do the work.
Yeah.
And they don't have heavy machineries, things like that there, right?
You're
we
the
used to work with
you're the
hands.
machine,
Yeah,
yes.
we are the machines.
Yes.
So that's how it goes. And then they sent me to boarding school. I was there with boys, 15, 16 of age.
Just having fun.
Just having fun, doing things like that. That's how I grew up. So, I thought, let me give it a try. What's the worst going to happen? I won't do it. But I did it. Then,
But in all fairness, let me just say that bending is a skill.
yes, it is.
Not everybody can pull it off, and not everybody can wrap their head around it on how to do it. Like,
Yes.
I'm one of those people that can't wrap their head around it, and I'm in awe of when I see people do it properly.
I love bending.
It's beautiful when it's
Yeah,
done
it is.
properly, right?
When I was up on the skyjacks doing sofits, I used to see them. How are they doing it? And I knew they bend this much for the fascia board. I knew how they do it. So I was like, let me give it a try.
Yeah.
The first bird box that I make was a shithole, but it was, if you install it, you won't see those cut edges,
Yeah.
right? I was not good with snips because I'm a lefty, right? And
Okay.
all those snips are right-handed.
I know, but they make snips for lefties.
Yeah,
now.
but
they have-
they didn't had a
at
left-hand
the
snip,
time,
right?
okay,
At
all
the
right.
time. So, they gave me raise. I was working with them for a longer time. And then my school, they bumped up 5 days a week class. So I had to quit the job.
Oh,
I had to.
because you're already paying the tuition.
Yes. And if I leave that part, then I had to, they won't give me a work status or all those things after school.
So
So
you-
I had to go to school.
You had to go to school.
Yeah, and I paid the tuition. So
But then what about the income? You needed the income too.
I did. Yes, I did. So what I did is, when I left this work, I found another guy who was doing interior renovations, basements
Okay.
mostly. I told him, I'll work for you. I'll come after hours. If you want me to stay until 12 in the night, I'll stay. Just give me work. Just give me 4, 5, 6 hours a day, right?
You told them that you were studying, right?
Yeah, I told him.
Okay.
And the guy, he was from India too, so he kind get me what happens, right? So he told me, yeah, just come on in, let's see what you can do. And first, they asked me to do grout. I told them, just tell me how to do it. Just tell me how to do it. They told me,
Just see it once. Just
just
show
see it
me
once.
once.
Just show me
What
once.
if it's a guy that's doing it wrong and showing you once?
Yeah,
Could happen.
could happen, right? But with me, I always check the backgrounds of the thing. So let's say I learned how to do grout today. I'll go home. I'll research about it. I'll watch YouTube. I'll read on Reddit, whatever I can get my hands on, right?
Wow. Okay.
So they told me how to do grout. Funny story. They didn't tell me you have to, clean it in certain time,
A
right?
certain time.
I did the grout.
You're
I
not the
left it.
first, and you won't be the last.
Yeah, and I started cleaning up the job site because I was free. I didn't know what to do after this, and nobody was at the job site. They left me alone.
Yeah.
The guy had 3, 4 jobs running, so they left me alone there, and I didn't know what to do. I cleaned up the whole job site, and then he called, "Did you do?" I was like, "Yes." "Did you clean up?" No one told me to clean up. I went there, grout was dry, so I took a blade. I was scratching the grout. He told me, "I'm not paying you shit if you don't
Of
clean up
course.
your mess," right?
So you're scraping all the dried
Yes, I
grout.
own up to it. That's the only thing I can do. So that's how it started. Then the COVID thing happened finally,
Yeah.
right? And then they told us, you can work whatever number of hours you want, and your schools will be online. And at that time, I was in construction course. So I was like,
So it kind
I'm
of-
working in construction,
worked,
right?
yeah.
So I was like, I cannot study on the laptop, on the computer, all those things. I'll go personally to a job site. I'll learn there. So that's how it happens. I had a girlfriend at the time. She used to do all my assignments, school assignments, all those things. And I was working 7 days a week. They called me 7 in the morning, I'll be there. Call me 5 in the morning, I will be there. Never in my life I had someone waiting. Never.
It didn't matter what was needed to be done that day. You
I'll
ask,
be there.
I'll
you
be
want
there.
me to stay 16 hours? I'll stay.
What is it that I got to do? And then you just do it. Just show me it and I'll do it.
Yeah. And funny thing, so when COVID happened and when I started my new job, first day at the job, and they were doing trams.
Okay.
Yeah, they were interior renovation guy. They used to do all these things by themselves.
Yeah.
And they were good guy, very nice guy. My ex-employees. I don't want to say the name and stuff.
No, that's fine.
But they were doing trims. So they told me, at the time, I knew how to read a tape measure. By that time, I knew it, right? But before that, when I was doing soffits, I used to measure, and then I used to remember what mark it is. Because no one ever asked me what size is this.
Yeah.
So I only knew quarter, half inch, 3/4. I only knew that. And then
you never got further.
Then what I used to do is, this mark is, after 3/4, I have to go 3 more marks. That's what I used to do. And when I got with those guys, they were nice guys, right? So they told me, do you know how to... First day on the job, they asked me, do you know how to read a tape measure?
Read a tape measure.
I said, yeah, I do. They told me, okay, go measure that piece. I came back, I said, 16 and 3/4, and then 3 marks. That's what happened.
But you know what? That's correct.
Yeah.
That's still a measurement that you're expressing.
Yeah,
It's
because
still
I was exact. I was not,
Yes.
doing like, okay, so I was not going 1/8 off or 1/4 off or 1/16 off.
So
I was exact at the
I
mark.
know, but the translation would have been if it was 16 and 3/4 plus 3 marks, you're basically saying 17 minus
Yeah.
is what you're saying, right? That's all
Yeah.
it is. You're doing 1/16 minus from the final number, which is
Yes.
17.
Yes.
But listen, I hope you didn't beat yourself up that much, because there's lots of homegrown people here that when they get started, they don't know how to read a tape measure.
Yes. But back in India, they read it a different way, right? So I knew that way, the way we read it in Hindi. I didn't know the English translation of it.
How is it read there? So 16 and 3/4.
So every 1/8 they called in Hindi, it's a term called sutra.
Sutra.
Sutra. Yeah.
And
So-
that's what? What's that increment?
1/8.
1/8 is a sutra.
Yes. So, 1/8 is 1 sutra, 3/8 is 3 sutra, 5/8 is 5 sutra, and then same thing, plus minus. Minus 5/8 sutra plus 5/8 sutra. That's how they read.
I kind of like that. Yeah.
So if someone says, whatever number and then minus 5/8 sutra is 916.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's how I know. So whenever I'm taking a measurement, I used to, take it in Hindi and then write it down, minus 1 sutra, this and that. But then they told me, if you don't learn how to read a measuring tape, we won't hire you.
Yeah.
Give me
Because the other trades are going to speak to you in the
Yes.
measuring tape language,
Yes.
right? That's
Yes.
why.
So they were all Hindi and Punjabi speaking.
Yes.
I knew their language, so I was like, give me by end of the day. I'm very good at maths. I'll learn it.
And you picked it up?
Yes, because, I was very good at maths. If I wasn't be here in Canada doing construction, I'll be a professor of maths. For sure.
Why is India using imperial? Why are they not using, no, I guess because of British, right?
Yes.
That's why.
Yes.
Okay, so it's still stuck there.
Yeah. But they don't teach, these short
Metric?
things. They don't teach these things back in school. They are focused on, old school methods. They don't teach how to build things in school back in India. Trades are seen as, they don't give much respect to trades. Trades don't make a lot of money back in India, so they are not respected as much.
What are the high-paying jobs back home? Like, what is...
Highest paying jobs are ITs,
Just
doctors,
all IT, all
doctors,
computers.
ITs.
Really?
Yes, and real estate.
But you guys have an infrastructure. You have to build a bunch of things,
Yeah,
so you
but
need a bunch of tradespeople.
You know how much carpenter makes in a day back in India?
How much?
10 Canadian bucks.
How much does an IT person make?
Back in India, if you are a good guy, you will at least make 200 bucks per day.
That's the discrepancy? That's
Yes,
the
sir.
difference?
Yes, sir. And there's one more thing that Britishers taught back in India was reservations by castes. So they had caste system started by Britishers back in India.
Yes.
When they were there.
When they were pulling their shit, I know.
Yes, and it's still there. I hate that.
I know.
But what happened is they gave things to reserve candidates. They don't give to deserve ones.
Really?
Yes, that how it goes.
And it's still going that way?
Yeah, it is. Like there are very people that are opposing this thing, but it's a very big country. They have like 125 million people.
Yeah.
It's highest populated country in the world.
Yeah.
So you cannot do anything.
So the
about it.
establishment is just set in their ways that this is.
Yeah, the way British.
So nobody's going to change it. Nobody can change it.
They're trying. They're making some changes. But
You know what? Like, Krish, tell me, what was your first thought about Canadian construction?
when I first came here,
Yeah, like what was your first thought? Like, what did you think of it? I guess comparing.
they're just building basic things.
So we're building basic things here.
Yes.
Okay.
Like the construction that's in Europe or in Asia,
I'm not disagreeing with you, by the way. I'm not
that's in
disagreeing.
Europe or Asia, they are building shit there.
Yes.
Okay, so when my old man was building the house I grew up in, we had a stone worker who carved every single stone at the site in his bathroom sleepers without a safety glasses, with an angle grinder. Every single one of them was symmetrical. He don't have,
By skill.
yes, by skill.
That's all it was.
By skill. So I loved that. But when I came here, I was like, this is some easy shit. That was my first thought.
Okay.
But now, as I'm growing, as I'm doing new things, I like challenges.
Yes.
I always do. So now when I'm doing new things, then it is something. I'm not saying it's basic. It's good.
No, but your work is progressing.
Yes.
Getting better and better because you're challenging yourself.
Yes.
And then have you gotten to the point where you start scratching your head and all of a sudden someone shows it to you and then you don't figure it out right away? It takes you a little bit longer?
It happens.
Yeah, it happens,
I
right?
reach out.
Okay.
One thing that I do is I'm not ashamed of asking questions. I reach out to everyone. I reach out to you.
You
I reach out
me,
to
I
other
know, yeah.
other people's. Like, I love landscaping. I love exterior work, right? So last year I took on a landscaping job for artificial turf. I never done it. I don't know how to do it. So I reached out few people. I met them. I had lunch with them. I told them, tell me how to do it. I want to do it. I'm not taking up your business, but I want to learn how to do it.
And were they willing to teach you?
Yes, few people.
Okay, because some people wouldn't,
Yes.
right?
And then the place, my supplier from where I got the turf, he told me a few tricks. And then I did the job. It's been a year now, and that's very nice.
looks
It's
good.
intact.
Yeah.
Intact. And it looks very good.
I love artificial turf. I love the idea of not having to mow the lawn or.
Yeah, so
maintain
that's what
it.
happened. My very first job was rental property for an investor.
Okay.
When I quit my job one day, and next day I got this job. The very next day, I was very lucky when I started my business, I can say, because I was working with my ex-employers for a year or more, and then suddenly one day I woke up and I had this feeling for a while that I'm not growing anymore. Here, they had few job sites running, and I was juggling in all those sites.
So what was that
Right.
feeling like? Like, what was it that? I mean, we're talking about 5 years, right? So
Yeah.
you're growing or learning fast.
Yes,
Picking up fast.
And then there was a point where I thought, I am not growing anymore. I'm doing the same shit that I did yesterday or a
it
week
wasn't a
ago.
question of money. It
No,
was.
I was not. I don't want to say this, but I was getting paid $105 per day, regardless of hours.
Really.
Yes,
So that was the arrangement that you were made.
with my employers.
Oh, got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was happy with it.
But
I
in
was
all
happy because
fairness,
I was learning.
In all fairness, you're not the only one, and I've heard a lot of stories of immigrants coming in here,
Yes.
hard-working immigrants coming in here,
Yes.
and taking advantage of that. Like $105 for what you were delivering
Yeah.
is not fair.
I was handling whole job site. I even this happened a few times that I completed the whole job and they didn't even come for inspection because they know I was there. They didn't come to see my work, what I did, because I was a small renovation company, so
course.
we used to do everything by ourselves. We used to do flooring, trims, everything, drywall, no just taping because I hate taping and mudding, right? And I'm not very good at it.
Yeah, so you'll admit it.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. Hired tapers, they're the professionals.
Every single time.
Done,
I have a boy now who works for me. He's very good at this. But even when I started, if I'm doing tan sheets, I'm going to hire a taper. I'm not going to do them myself.
It's a smart move.
Yes, because, someone is trusting you with their home.
Yeah.
Right? And you don't want to look there. let's see, one day they are sitting and looking at their ceiling.
See
And it's
bad
all
joints,
bumpy.
see bad corners,
Yes.
see bad pops. I
Yes.
know, you don't want that.
And I always wanted this because my old man always says, you can make money in very different ways, but you can make name in just one way.
That's a good point.
That's a good point, yeah.
That's a very good point.
So back to my job, I finished up, like I was working, and then there was a point when I thought, I'm not growing anymore. So I talked to them that I'm not growing anymore, and they took
What
my
was the response when
they took my concern and they start giving me more challenging jobs.
Okay.
They did.
That solve your problem about not growing? Sort of. Temporary.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I was mentally going through a rough phase, all COVID and all these bullshits.
Yeah.
Right?
I totally.
And one day I woke up, I was working in a basement in Brampton. And I just called them, here's my 2-week notice. I don't want to work here anymore.
So even though they
Impulsive.
gave you challenges and they were trying to keep you happy,
Yes.
they didn't really understand what you were looking
They
for.
are trying to keep me happy. They were doing their best. They were the best employers I ever had.
Okay.
Right? They were brothers to me. And I called their mother. I used to eat with them, dinners, all those things, right? And I just one day, bro, it's not happening, right?
You just woke up like that? Or like,
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was in a different phase, mentally, physically. So one day I just woke up. I didn't know what to do. I had no backup plan or nothing like that. I just quit my
But
job.
you just
one
knew
day.
that you had to get out of that situation.
Yes.
With no backup plan, no nothing.
No.
You had tuition going on. You still had school to take care of. You still had,
By that time, I was done with school.
you're done school,
Yeah, because...
but you have bills now to pay.
Yes.
So how do you make that step?
Impulsive decision. But now I'm kind of...
It paid
growing.
off.
Yeah, it paid off. Right? So I took the decision that here's my 2-week notice. But they told me if you're not happy and if you think you won't come from tomorrow, that's okay with us as well. So I said, okay, I'm not coming tomorrow.
Did they try to convince you to stay?
No, they didn't know. Because I was like brothers to them, and they told me as long as you are happy, we're happy. So you wanna quit? You quit. You wanna come back anytime? You come back anytime.
So they left it open.
Yeah, they left it open.
But you weren't ready for that. You were
They
ready
left
for
it open for a while.
Really? Okay.
For a while. Because they thought I had, they thought, what's he going to do? Maybe he come back. But when I started my business, there's always this jealousy factor,
Of course.
right? So
Because
that's
you're
when-
taking what you learned
Yes.
and now you're going to possibly be better than what they are.
Yeah,
But that's the point.
that's the point. Being better every day.
Yes.
Right?
That's the
So-
point.
Yeah, so when I started this thing, they find out. And so what happened is I post an Instagram ad of my work that I've done on my personal Instagram account.
Yeah.
But I did that work for their company.
Okay.
So technically it was their work.
Their work, yeah.
But I didn't know that at the time.
There's a little bit of, yeah, I get it. I understand. So
Yeah.
did they spoke up?
They spoke up. They told me we're getting a lawyer involved. All these things that we are trying to.
Please tell me you just said, okay, fine, I'll take it
Yeah,
down.
I
It's
took
done.
it down.
That's it.
I
okay.
deleted
End of the
it.
conversation.
I
That's it.
deleted it.
I'm sorry, walk away, and that's it. Move
Yeah,
away.
and then when I was working with them, they had their T-shirts. So I had my pay docked for the T-shirts that I got,
Of course.
right? So when I left, I had those T-shirts because I paid for them.
Of course.
I was wearing them around. I was
Wait a minute, hang on a sec. So you paid for their work shirts.
Yes, I did. They docked my pay. Yeah, that's how they roll. Yeah, I don't know. So when I left work,
Okay,
I
I
already
don't
paid-
agree that you have to pay for their work shirts, their business. You're walking around,
yes.
you walk into a store, you walk in anywhere,
Yeah.
you're wearing their logo.
Yes.
And you're paying for that?
Yes.
Okay.
So I had the same thing in mind. I already paid for it, so I'm going to use it.
Yes.
Right? I was doing my own houseworks in those T-shirts and things like that. So they and I had friends in common. They told them about the T-shirts and things. So they bring the same thing up. I told them I paid for them. I can do whatever I want with these T-shirts. So they told us, oh, you are taking jobs under our name. I just said, this is total bullshit.
No, you're not doing
This
that.
is total bullshit.
No, you're not.
Yeah, so you want your T-shirts back? Give me my money back, take your T-shirts.
if anything, you're giving them advertising by wearing their
Yeah,
T-shirt.
of course. And the only thing, at first, I never took job that I cannot do. So if I see I cannot do this, I'm not gonna take on it for now because I'm starting. I'll learn, and then in future, if I get the same opportunity, I'll take it.
I've given away so many T-shirts, probably in the range of 1,000 plus, like T-shirts, because I just gave it away.
I like your
And
t-shirts.
I never charged a single person for them. And I still remember like people sometimes, and there's a guy, I forget his name, but his handle I think is Cortland something. And he asked me permission one time if I was okay with him wearing my T-shirt because he liked my T-shirt a lot, right? But he was smoking a bong, right? He was smoking a joint, and I was like, I don't have a problem with that. It's your shirt, you're wearing it. It's like I gave it to you. It's my logo. I don't care. You're smoking a bong.
Do whatever.
It doesn't bother.
whatever.
If you're killing somebody with my T-shirt, I might speak up, right? That's a
Yes.
different story. But just having a joint, it doesn't bother me. I don't
Doesn't
care at
bother
all,
me,
right? But that's wrong. That you pay for this shirt, you should. Okay, so then you're learning the game now, is what you're doing.
Yes. So when when all these things happened, I was like, okay, take your t-shirts back, right? I was working alone with a helper. I had a helper from very first day. Because the very first job that I did was a washroom. I love to do tiles. I'm very good at it.
And you're really good at grouting.
Yes, yes, right. So the very first job that I took was doing a shower. It was a custom shower, but the contractor was a hack.
Okay.
So
So you were hired just to do the tiling.
just to do the tiling.
Okay. When he was a hack, what do you mean? Like the framing was bad, everything was bad.
Yes, nothing was okay. So it was a shower right in the center of space.
Okay.
Right. So they had a U shaped glass, right?
Yeah.
So the wall they created were like this. So I called him. I was like, your walls are not straight. He told me, just do the tiling the way the walls are.
Are you kidding me?
I cannot do it, right? But it was my very first job.
How much of a difference was there, like out of plumb from the top to the bottom? Like
3/4.
3/4.
3/4.
And just do the tile. So what's going to happen with the glass at that point?
Yeah.
You're going to cut the
No
glass
idea.
on an angle?
No idea.
Wow.
So I was like, I'll make sure the tiles are level, but your sides. What are you gonna do with the glass? I was like, I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. At the ceiling, the guy had a cement board up the ceiling.
Okay.
All the drywall screws he put in were popping the skin of the
The cement board.
cement board.
So it went too far.
Yeah, he did. And I called him. I said, when I put on the tiles, it's gonna be heavy and it can come off anytime.
What was the size of the tile?
12 by 24.
It's got weight.
Yeah, but the shower was this big, size of this table.
7 by 7.
Yeah,
Massive.
yeah. And then I was like, this cement board can come down, right? He told me not to worry about it. That's not my job to worry about it. That's his job to worry
Of course
about
it's your job to worry about it.
Yeah, because I'm the tiler and they're going to grab me, right?
If you're installing to substrate that's not proper, then your service is going to fail.
Yes.
But it's not your fault that it failed.
Yes. So the homeowner were living in the house.
Okay.
They were kind of managing the whole project.
Okay.
The contractor. I called them. He was a nice guy. I called them. Hey, look, this is what's happening, right? I don't want to tile over it. So he had me change that cement board. I changed it. Same with the dry pack. So they did a dry pack, but they never sluted it. They
Didn't
told me-
waterproof it?
No, they just
Not
told
even
me
a
to-
rubber? They just put the towel right on top of the dry pack.
Yes. They just told me, no, I did not do that.
Not even an aqua defense, not even a red guard, not even...
I told them I'm not going to do it, right? So then they bring in Schluter for me to do it because they don't know how to do Schluter. They bring Schluter for me to do it, right? I did the Schluter, all those things, and then I end up paying the guy who was working for me out of my own pocket. That was my very first job.
That was your first job on your new business on your own?
Yes.
Wow.
But then I learned how to say no. I was hungry at the very first. I was taking on anything.
Did you make money that first job?
No, I end up paying out of my own pocket.
It happened.
That's how it goes, right?
Yeah.
I guess it happens to everyone.
So now you get other jobs and you start learning to say no.
Yes.
Because I guess the client or the GC is offering you a pay that's not in line with what's like what you're expected to do work wise.
Yes.
So you say, no, I'm not going to be able to make money on
Like
here.
I
What's the
had
point?
to make that decision what kind of a trade person I want to be, right? And I was doing everything. I was doing floorings, I was doing trims. So I said I'm gonna take on the whole jobs.
What year is this, Krishna? We're like, what? How many?
2022, last year.
So just last year.
Just last year.
Okay.
I started my business 1st of June 2022, and this job was 3rd of June 2022.
Some big jumps, man. Like in the short period of time.
Yeah, impulsive decisions. All my friends know me for taking impulsive decisions.
But how do you handle if it doesn't work out? You own it.
I have to own it, right? And let's say if something doesn't work out, my old man was always there to help me out, right? And that was the only plan I had. So if this doesn't work out, my old man will take care of it. I love him for that, right? So this happens, and I start getting more jobs, word of mouth.
Because of word of mouth.
Yeah, I did some flooring jobs, some trims. I helped out a few friends, and then in 25 days, I got a call. I met some guy at Freshco, right? I was in my work boots, work pants, and the guy goes like, "What do you do?" I do everything. What do you want to get done? So he goes like, "I have a rental property. I'm an investor, and I have drawings and stuff. Can you do my basement? It's a legal triplex." I was like, "Hell yeah, I'll do it." I was like, "Do you have experience to do it?" "Yes, I do, because I used to work with my older company that they did same things." "Give me the drawings. I'll price out the job for you, and then let's go how it goes."
Was it legal?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
It was. We cut out a door for the basement, new stairs, and then all these things, right?
Double layer dry, fire soundproof,
Yes.
smokies,
Sono board,
all that stuff.
smoke alarms, all these things.
So
right?
it's nice to hear an investor landlord that understands what legal means
Yes.
versus legal.
Yes.
Because a lot of people say they're doing legal things, but
they
it's not
don't.
legal things.
They're just doing half-inch drivers.
Exactly.
I did jobs like that. I'm not very proud of, but I was new. I was hungry.
Of course.
I can get. I was doing whatever I can get my hands on.
Of course.
So it was the same project where I did that artificial grass. From there, the investor he's working with Treasure Hill Homes.
I know Treasure Hill.
They are making very nice homes.
Yeah, Treasure Hill does ultra high-end townhomes,
Yes.
and they had a huge, beautiful complex that they built up in St. Clair, not Avenue in St. Clair.
I haven't seen that, but they.
I knew the
very
site
nice-
super on it, so that's why I bring it up, and then I actually got a walkthrough through it, and I just said, I don't understand the cost of this unit. No grass, no yard, but it was like 4 or 5 stories, and you're at Avenue in St. Clair, so you're in a posh area of the city, and what they were at, like $3.5 million, $4 million for a unit. That's like 5,000 square feet.
I worked with them in a couple of their homes in Oshawa,
Yeah,
and now they're building a division in Cambridge. So I'll be working there.
they only build luxury, like
Yes.
higher end luxury.
Yes. So when I get into their jobs, then that's where my custom part of working started.
Of course.
Yeah, before that, I was doing basements. Yes, I was giving it my personal touch. So let's say someone wanted colonial style 4-inch baseboards. No, I pushed them to do step bevel, do something else, do nicer baseboard. You're renting this out to someone. It will be their home for a few years, right? Make it nice. Put in extra money. And the investor that I'm talking about, he was a nice guy. He was open to suggestions.
Did he understand that it was worth paying a little bit more?
Yes.
Yeah.
The guy.
I'm the same mindset because
From there, it's all word of mouth. So this whole thing get into their office, and then they are a group called Forest Gate, the same investor and some few others. They own these apartment buildings all over Canada. So they hired me to do apartment for them. My bid was somewhere in between the bidding that they got, and they hired me. And their asset manager was there to check the job, and he told me, "We've been doing this for 15 years, and nobody has ever done this kind of work in a rental apartment." So I was happy.
Okay, so you tell me, and you probably learned this, and I'm pretty sure that your investor, landlord / boss, understood that if you actually spend a little bit more extra,
You get more rent.
You get more rent. Plus, you also get a different kind of renter,
Yes, nice rent.
and then they'll probably take care of the place a lot better.
Of course.
If you just slap it together and put the cheapest possible material in there, you're going to get a certain kind of renter again, and they're not going to treat it as nicely as you think they will.
Yes.
You can't just have this mindset of it's just a
So
rental unit.
when they had this drawings, there was no weeping tile on inside, but the basement was leaking, right? I told them, if you wanna handle mold after 2-3 years,
Water's going to build up.
then your price will be 10-15K lesser, right? Whatever the price is, and I like, let's do it once and for a while, and then you don't have to worry about it anytime soon. Never, right? He told me, yeah, do it. So I've done before this. I did weeping tile once or twice, right? So I took on the job.
It's just manual labor.
Yes,
That's
it's just
all it
manual
is.
labor, right?
Yeah.
I took on the job. I didn't had all those tools at the time, so I rented a jackhammer, a Bosch jackhammer from
To break all
Sunwell.
the concrete.
Yeah, to break all the concrete. And then I was alone doing those rebuild tiles because the helper that I had, he was in school too, so he was like, I cannot come next 3 days. I was like, I want to finish this job so I can get my first big paycheck.
How thick was the concrete? Was it thin or thick? Was it like
I was thin. It was
2.5? No, 4?
3 inches, 4 inches.
Okay. Pretty thick in today's.
Yes, we can say. But I've seen in my previous company, we were doing a job. We were running plumbing in the basement. I've seen 7.5 inches thick concrete
What?
in St. Catharines.
What did they have? Like extra concrete that day or something like that?
I
That's
have
like
no
extra
idea.
thick.
And the same day, the jackhammer broke down, and we were breaking the concrete with sledgehammers.
My first big job
Yeah.
was up in Woodbridge, which was like a 1,500 square foot basement apartment. Wanted to be built properly. Home theater, sound room for the son who was learning how to play drums. They didn't want the rest of the house to hear this crap. So it was built properly, right?
Yeah.
And I outsourced a plumbing company to do the rough-ins, to move all the rough-ins to where we needed to move in. I see this 60-year-old guy come in with a sledgehammer. I'm thinking he's going to mechanically break that concrete. This guy made quick work of that concrete with a sledgehammer, man. He broke that concrete so fast. I was tired just looking at him doing that. I was like, how did he just break that concrete so fast with a sledgehammer? Because I'm assuming it didn't stop you.
We did not. But back in India, they don't use very much jackhammers, right? They use sledgehammers.
Of course.
So I had this trick where we make cuts on the sides of the track that we are cutting out, and then we make cross-sectional cuts. And then what we did is
Smash.
I took a steel wedge,
Oh.
put right into the cut, and then smashed the cut.
So you're getting
that
a big
cracks.
chunk. Yeah.
Yeah, that cracks the whole concrete, and you can take out big chunks. Take a grab on top of
Smart.
it, take it out.
Yeah, it's
take
smart.
it out. Yeah, and we did that same time we can do with the jackhammer. Almost the same
Well,
time.
you're more tired, to be honest.
Very tired to be
Right.
honest.
You're sore, and then you're definitely going to feel it the next day.
Next few days, like a week, yeah.
But the thing is, you didn't stop because a tool went down. You kept going.
I needed the money, so I was hand to mouth at that time.
Yeah.
Right, I was hand to mouth, so I needed the money. If I take that one day off, I might run out of
One
money.
day longer that you can't get the money.
Yes. So I made some, bad decisions financially when I came here, buying a car, financing a car, and then getting some tickets and instead of fighting them, paying them off.
Oh,
So my insurance goes up through the roof.
never pay a ticket. Always fight a ticket.
I didn't know that. Now I know. But that's how
Don't worry.
it is.
Reach out to me, and I'll give you the parameters of how you handle all that, and you'll take it all the way to the second and third adjournment, and then you'll eventually get that ticket. And trust me, I've even had a ticket of me using a handheld device while I'm driving. Dismissed.
Give me your contacts.
I'll let you. You want to reach out? Reach out to me, and I'll tell you how that happened. Right? It was actually pretty clever, but will I ever admit that I was actually doing it? I'm not going to admit to that.
No.
But I love that
rules-
you're learning. I love that you're coming here and you're new to this and seeing the rules, and then you're questioning the rules, and then you're understanding that there is a better way to do it sometimes.
Yes.
But you're still learning even from the mistakes.
Yes.
You're not taking the mistakes and just being beat down, just going, I hate this construction industry now. This is bullshit. I don't want to move forward anymore. You still see opportunity.
Never in these 5 years I had a moment that I thought I hate this construction life. But the thing with me, all my friends, my family know me for this, that when things starting getting better for me in anything, I run away from it.
Why?
When I was doing comedy, when things starting getting better, I ran away. I don't know, change of mind, impulsive decisions. But
Well-
construction is the only thing I never said I want to quit. I want to change fields. Never.
Okay, you gotta give me a joke that killed back home when you were doing it, that it always worked. What's a joke that you can share?
Joke, they always see.
That always worked. It always worked.
I don't know if I can translate it.
Oh, okay, yeah, because you
English.
got to translate it, right?
Yeah.
You know what though? We probably have a lot of Indian listeners, so then say it in your language.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of an adult joke. I'm gonna tell you in English.
Sure, try both.
Right?
Yeah.
So I was growing up in boarding school, right?
Okay.
So what we're gonna do? Let's say there's a new kid in the hostel, right? So one morning we're gonna go up to his dorm and ask him to lick his lips, right?
yeah.
And how does it taste? Is it bitter? Is it what? And the guy has no idea, right? And then few days we're gonna make fun of him, and then one day we're gonna tell him, you were sleeping and we did something to you, right? And the guy, oh my God, you made me lick it. This joke always works, every single time. Do it with anyone, just give it 5-6 days, and all of a sudden, remember one day I asked you to lick your lips?
Yeah.
That's what happened. We did that to you last night.
That joke still works here in Canada. In
Yes,
English.
it does. We've done with one of my boys here, and he got pissed off, and he started crying, and then we had to tell him that it's a joke. That's what happened. So this joke always works, and there's one more joke that works is when we were in hostel. Like this always work on our wardens and
Of course.
all those. When we were in hostel, so one of my friend knows how to short all the lights, the whole hostel. So what we used to do, we used to take a copper wire and the eraser that we have to, erase our pencils,
Yeah.
right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take 2 erasers, make a U of that hole, hold it 2 erasers, and then plug into a socket. That's it, in a plug.
And shut off all the power. Everything.
whole
trips.
hostel,
The
the
whole
whole
thing
hostel.
is done.
And then every single kid on the block started making sounds like hoo, 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 hoo. And warden has no idea what that means. Every single time.
Did you ever get caught? Anybody get caught?
So many times.
So many times?
I
They
have
knew
a very-
exactly who it was?
Yes, I have a very good story of getting caught. So
Okay.
my dad, as I told you, he served 30 years in Indian Army, right? He wanted me to be an army officer. So I never told this to my parents. And they don't know English, so
So they're not listening.
so they are not listening, right? So what happened is there's a entrance exam for an officer level post in Indian Army.
Okay.
It's called NDA, and then they have 7 days interview session called SSB.
Okay.
So I appeared in the exam. I cleared it. My family asked me, "How did you do?" I said, "I didn't do it. I failed." Right? I didn't tell them.
Okay.
Because if I tell them I cleared the exam and if I fail
Then
in
you're off
the
to the
interview,
army. Yeah.
if I fail in the interview, then that's shit for me. My dad's gonna kill me.
Okay.
Not kill me, but yeah, right?
Family kill you.
Yeah, family kill you.
Yeah.
Because I'm the only child they have. Like I have an elder sister, but only boy they had.
Yeah.
And I was notorious. I had complaints coming to my place every single day. That's why they sent me to boarding school. So I appeared in the interviews, and then they have 2 eliminations, day 1 and day 5. If you don't eliminate on day 5, you are in the army, you are an officer. So I was there. Day 1, they didn't kick me out. I was happy. Day 5, they didn't kick me out. I was very happy. So on day 6th, what we did is we take a blanket put over a kid, and we were baiting it, blanket baiting,
Yeah.
right? Everyone does it.
Yeah.
The CEO, the company commander there, they caught us.
While you were doing it?
Yes.
Okay.
They banned me for 3 years. I cannot appear in their exam. I cannot, go to SSB. So my chances for army were done.
Did you tell your parents?
They still don't know it.
Still to this day.
Yes, still to this day.
So that was the reason why you didn't get in.
Yes. As a kid growing up, the only thing that I know that I'm going to do was army.
That's
The
it.
only thing. Because my grandfather was in army.
But did you want to do army?
Yes, I did.
You wanted to do army?
Yes.
Yeah?
Because the most respected thing back in India is army. No matter what. Because they have very shitty neighbors. China,
Is it good
Pakistan.
money?
No.
It's not even good money. You're serving your country?
It's basic money, yeah. It's
in forms of, because you were saying $200 a day for an IT versus $10 a day for a tradesperson.
it's $120 for army.
for an army.
Yeah, for army officer. If you are a starting level
Working your
cadet,
way up, yeah.
yeah,
so
you are $70-$90 a day. Yeah,
that's still
something
good money.
like that.
Decent money.
It is.
A lot
Yeah.
more than trade.
Yes. Trades are getting paid shit there. That's how it is. And they use brick, right?
Yeah.
And then they use plaster POP for moldings and
Yeah,
stuff and all
yeah.
those things, right? So, but they weren't getting paid nicer. A painter gets 400 Indian rupees. That's $8 per day.
A painter gets $8 per day.
Yes.
Who gets paid the most in construction?
The bricklayer.
How much?
10
20?
bucks. 10 bucks. 10 bucks.
$10.
10 bucks. 800 Indian rupees.
That's insane.
Yeah, and the tilers, they got 600 Indian rupees, something like that. But these days, now, back in the days, they were daily basis, daily wages, right? And now, these days, people are getting contracts. I'll do the whole job for this much. I'm not
Yeah.
telling you my daily rate. I'm going to do this for 1 day, 10 days, whatever day I take.
This is the rate.
This is the rate. Now they are making nice money, but when I was kid, when I was growing up, getting into trade was the last option for anyone. So let's say you didn't study, you didn't get a job, nothing, then you go in trades.
You're going to the trades.
And no one respects you.
Really?
Yes.
But yet everybody.
Because you are
thinks-
getting paid very little, right?
So they don't respect you because of the money that you're making for the career that you chose, the job
Yes.
that you chose.
Yes.
But if you were making more money, they would respect you.
Yes. And I don't like
Would
it.
you do IT over construction?
No.
It's a lot more.
I'm
money.
not a tech guy. I
Yeah.
told you. I cannot sit in front of a computer all day and break my back.
What's a math teacher make? What do teachers make there?
They make nice money. Like, depends what you teach. You teach higher grades, you high school, colleges. That depends, right? But teachers make nice money.
So coming back to Canada now, you establish your business.
Yeah.
Clients come in now. They're calling you.
Yes.
Word of mouth is getting around.
Yes.
The work is being done well, and the reputation, just like how your dad said, you can always make money, but you can only build your reputation once.
Once, yes.
Right? So now you're working on that one-time detail of your business.
Yes. So right now I have 3 jobs that's going on at the same time, right? And these 3 jobs has at least 1 hour of drive in between.
Oh, wow.
But the boys that work for me are very good.
Everybody else is subcontracting that you're hiring or no?
No, we're doing most of the work, 70%
Really?
of the work ourselves. So what I do is, I'm on the tools every day.
Yeah,
every
you're
single
23 years old, man.
Yeah.
You still got another 10, 20 years of being on the tools on
I
yourself.
want to be on tools until I get 40, for sure. For sure.
I only want to be on the tools if it's for me. I don't want to be on the tools anymore for clients.
I get it because you had your time,
I
right?
have my time.
You had your time.
I paid
huh?
my dues.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
So what happens is the boys, they work for me. So what happens is, let's say I tell them this is the task that we have to achieve in next 3 days.
Yes.
And same thing that I discuss with my clients. I'm going to take my time. If you want this job done yesterday, then I'm not your guy. I tell them to their face. Some people told me you are rude. I'm okay with that. But I told them, see, if you
Rude
are...
for what? Because you're being honest with them?
Yes.
And so they're considering you rude?
Yes. I get it, everyone wanna get their house done fast because they can get back to their normal lives. But if they want this done in 10 days and it's a 15-day job, I might take 17.
Yeah.
I'm not taking 13.
Of course.
So I told them, if you are looking to get it done yesterday,
Hire somebody else.
hire somebody else.
I guarantee you it won't be finished in the time that you think that person told you it was going to get finished.
Remember, I was telling you I'm starting my very first commercial
Yeah.
job this week. So when they come back with the paperwork, they were telling me some plenties every day that I'm late. I have
know.
to pay this much.
That's
right?
the commercial world.
Yeah. So I told them, no, I'm not going to do it.
Did they agree to that?
So I guess they looked around, right? And then every price that they got was, every contractor added those penalties
Of course.
in their price,
Of
right?
course.
And I did not. So I told them, I might take 15 more days, but this is my price. And I'm not paying shit.
But
I'm not
that's the
paying
commercial world. That's how they design it. So they
Yes.
expect to be penalized.
Yes.
So then they'll lose that money because they won't be able to finish the scope on schedule.
Yeah, either, see, the time frame that they were giving me was, you cannot attain it
It's
at
impossible.
any-
You know exactly.
impossible. So I told them, either extend your timeline or you cannot get it done. So they did extend the timeline, and now we're working on the job.
It's a better move instead of hiring somebody that's going to already charge you more, expecting to pay for the penalties.
Okay, so when the designer came back with the designs,
Yeah.
they had this very nice designer tile, right? The wait time on the tile was 12 weeks. And the timeline that I was given was 15 weeks
To do the job.
to finish the whole job. It's 4,000 square feet of space
That's 12 weeks if that tile shows up on time.
on time. On time.
That's too close. That's
Yes.
way too close.
So I asked the designer, get me tile tomorrow. I'm going to finish it in 16 weeks. And they couldn't do it. Like, you cannot do it, right?
And anybody who's going to commit to it and say that, yes, I can do it, then you're going to be paying a penalty
Of course.
because you won't make the deadline.
Of course. That's why they had those penalties in their...
Krishna, don't you get
Price.
frustrated sometimes in this business?
I love it.
You love it?
I love it. I get frustrated when, when someone is confused, and like when I'm trying to tell them something that this is how it should be done, and when they are saying, no, my uncle did it this way, my brother-in-law did it
That's
this
old
way.
mentality, bro. I know.
So I told them, okay, this is not how it get done. If you want to get it done the proper way, or my way, I'm going to do it this way. I be blunt with it, right? So if you like it, yeah, okay, nice. But I always make sure I keep my clients happy. So I tell them, if you want to do it this way, this might happen with you. And then I'm not responsible for it.
What's the number one thing that you do to keep your clients happy?
Well, I'm funny. I tell them jokes all the time.
Okay.
But to keep my clients happy, like I'm on a smaller scale now, right? So my clients are at the house that we are working in.
So they see you every day.
Yeah. And what I do is, every step that I do, I call them out and I tell them, this is how we did it, and this is why we did it. So let's say, if I don't tell them, I might have couple pictures in my inbox same night, right? But I already told them why we did it this way and why we didn't do it that way.
So when you priced it out and you submitted the quote to them,
Yeah.
and they agreed to the scope and the price and everything's fine, obviously clients don't have the exact idea of what each of those line items are like how it works, right?
Yes.
So, but now you are doing the work and you take the time and effort to explain to the client, this is how we're doing it and this is why we're doing it.
Yes.
And then they appreciate that.
Yes.
So you're
And
walking them through it.
they have their doubts clear, right? So they are happy about it. Okay, so they did it this way. This is why they did it. And then that way I have less pictures in my inbox. So there was only one job that I got very frustrated with. I almost threw my tools and said, do it yourself. I did not. So what happened is, I was very new in the business.
Yeah.
And I took on a washroom job.
Okay.
And I was trying to convince them to do waterproofing, aqua defense, something,
Something.
right? So
This
I
is for
told
the
them
shower or this is for the floor?
for the shower.
Okay.
For the
And what do
shower.
they want? They put green board?
Yes.
And they didn't want to put any waterproofing on top.
No.
And they understood that green board is moisture board. It's not
Yes.
waterproof board.
Yes.
There's no such thing as waterproof board
Yeah.
unless you're dealing with a product like Schluter or Curdy board or
Yes.
something like that. Then it's
Then,
waterproof.
then I had to show them. I made box out of those damn boards.
The green boards.
Yes. And then cook the joints so no water can get out.
Yeah.
I fill in the water, left it overnight, and next morning I showed it to them. See, this is overnight. So see what's going to happen with your shower in a year. Then still they weren't convinced.
They weren't
They
convinced by
had-
that.
They had very little education.
What was the thing is that were they not convinced because there was an extra slight added cost
Yes,
to
sir.
do it this way?
Yes, sir.
We're not talking thousands of extra dollars here.
No. I told them, let's do aqua defense. Aqua defense is
Bare
nice.
minimum, yeah.
Yes, I've tried aqua defense and I did the same thing. I tried it with cement boards. I tried it with
And it
moisture
doesn't
boards.
leak. It doesn't leak.
Right, it doesn't leak. I tried it for 2 days. I put in with water. It doesn't leak, right? I told them aqua defense is $150 for a bucket, right? It's gonna do your whole shower. Let's do it.
They still said no. Even
Then-
at $150 plus the labor, you're at the most $250.
Yes. And I told them I won't charge you labor for that.
So
'Cause
why are they still saying no?
I didn't want to get a cold back, right?
Yeah.
I had no idea. Then I ate up the price. I did it without telling them because they were not at the house. Because it was investment property for them. So they wanted get it done, just do it the cheapest, and we'll rent it out.
I hate those types of investors.
So I was new.
I know, but
Yeah.
you didn't really. But now you understand. If you come across that person talking to you
I
that
say
way, you say, "Then I'm sorry," but and I can see. Trust me, I've been considered rude as well to clients because I just be blunt with them.
Yeah.
I'm just like I want to build it a certain way that it's not going to fall apart. You don't want to fix this. You want to replace it when it's actually lived its life.
Yes.
That's it, which is 10, 20 plus years.
Yes.
Lived its life, it's lived its purpose, move on. But you don't in 5 years want to have a black spot underneath the ceiling on the room that's below. And what's that black spot? Well, that's water. That's moisture coming from your shower.
I even told them like the same house the ceiling didn't had insulation. Like in some sports there were bad insulation there.
Yeah.
But I feel like someone was up there, they moved this insulation around, things like that. Or maybe there was a leak and the air blew it all in a corner, something like that. But they had no insulation. I was like, get your ceilings insulated because they had a boiler and their house was very cold. It was back in October when I was doing this job. I was like, it's cold as December in here. Your furnace not working? They told me, it's working, but it doesn't work very well. I was like, what's that? Our boiler is old. No.
Was it a boiler or was it forced air?
Boiler.
It was a boiler, so it was rads.
Yes, right.
So if it's not that the boiler's not working, because if you go to the boiler and it's heat coming off of it, it's working.
Yeah, it's working,
It's
right?
got- it's got
but
minimum
the house,
parts.
house was not
So
insulated.
somebody cut a rad somewhere.
Maybe.
Somebody disconnected a rad
The
somewhere.
guy was a roofer, a hack
Yeah.
for sure. But he used to, do things around the house by himself.
But you can't just cut rads and just eliminate it. You
idea
have to
what they were doing.
understand heat loss calculations. You have
Yes,
to
all those things.
understand.
I told them what I was thinking was your house is not properly insulated.
Yes.
That's what I thought.
But that's
right?
the first thought. But the actual thought is that it's not being heated properly.
Yes.
Something's
So
missing.
I told them to get your rates check, and they told me, don't worry about it. We'll get it done. I cannot say more than that.
But the conversation started with our furnaces, our boiler's not working properly.
Yes.
So you've accepted that rooms are cold.
Yes.
There's a reason
And the thing
why.
is, when we go around the rats, I was giving out heat, very little. So I was like, it's kind of working, but it should warm up the place. And the same thing happened when I took out the wall. Shower was on exterior wall. I had no insulation. I had no idea how those shower fixtures worked. I thought they would be freezed by now.
Of course they would have freeze, yeah.
Yes, but
Was it copper or was
it was copper, yeah.
it was copper, right? And
Yeah.
it was in an exterior wall and
Yes.
not insulated?
Not insulated. I have no idea. And then they told me, we renovated this house by ourselves 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Like,
I can see
good
that.
for you. Good for you. Good for you. That's how I know they were hacks.
Wow. But that job was that was last year?
Last year when I first started.
So now it's just
I was hungry back then, right? I was hungry
Yeah.
for jobs. So, but after that, I started kind of, when I go see a client, I don't price out jobs over emails or over phones or things like that. I prefer to meet them in person because I was a student of human psychology and I can read them.
I was just going to say, you want to read them.
Yes, I want to read them, of course, because they want to read me as well, right? People always judge me by my age. You're a kid.
I was going to say that a lot of you guys in your early 20s, mid 20s are questioned because you're that age.
Yes.
How can you be that young and have that much knowledge?
Yes.
Easy.
So right now I got involved in a build in Richmond Hill. I was sharing some stuff of this house recently, right? It's 5,000 square feet house,
Okay.
fully custom, and the homeowners were building it themselves. So they had very little knowledge about
Big
it.
mistake.
And when I get in there, it was a mess.
What did you see that made it a mess?
Okay, so the windows had 1/8 reveal on top and 3/4 reveal on the bottom. Window guy ripped them off. First thing first. Their framer. Okay, so what happens is it's a 3-story house.
Yeah.
Main floor, first floor, and then attic, right?
Yeah.
So the opening for stairs for first floor, it's let's say it's from here to here.
Yeah.
And when it goes in the attic, they move this beam 3 feet this way. What the fuck? Where are you gonna handle your chandelier or whatever you are looking, trying to handle over these stairs?
So why was it smaller when it got up there at the top then?
Frame is fucked up.
So
They went with the cheapest bid.
Really?
Yes, they did.
Was it drawn that way?
No.
Wow. So the framers just made an executive decision just to put.
Yes, they. What I'm guessing is they might had a new guy or whatever, or they made a mistake.
Monday or Friday.
Yeah, Monday or Friday. Maybe they are drunk on Friday because I bring my boys beer every Friday, right? That's what I'm thinking. Maybe they bring some hard booze.
Yeah.
And that's what happened, right? Now they had to hire architect and a structure engineer to put steel beams.
Oh, man.
But, it was word of mouth. A friend of mine asked me to help them out. I told them, I'm going to help you out if I work my ways. If you tell me what to do, what not to do, I cannot work.
Do you like being called in to fix other people's problems? Because I don't. And I won't.
I like challenges. So let's say if it's a minor fuck up, I'll just tell them over the phone, this is what's going to happen. You can fix it for this much amount and get someone to do it this way.
Why did the homeowners become their own GCs? Money? They just didn't want to pay 10 points out to somebody to manage this job?
They are spending
How much was the bill?
around 1.5.
Yeah, that's pretty reasonable.
They are spending this much amount on the house and they don't
want to give up 150K to manage that job.
No.
So it'd be 1.65.
Yeah.
They think of it as a waste.
Yes.
So to properly oversee the job and to supervise all the trades that are doing the work is not worth 150K?
It is worth it, right?
It's worth 300K.
But they don't understand it before starting it, right? But when they get involved in it, when they start building it, then they know how important
Of course,
it is.
they understand it at that point.
So what happens is they didn't had a designer. They had designs in their mind.
So they're GCing and designing the property.
Yes.
Oh, decisions must have been made so quickly. I'm being sorry.
No idea. So when I get there, they told me, this is our design. I told them, who's your designer? Do you have a designer? They told me no. So I asked them, do you want a designer? Because they wanted a wow factor in their kitchen, right? And the design that they showed me was raised panel kitchen. It's not shaker, it's not double shaker, it's raised panel. It's raised panel. What is this? Basement?
It's really?
Yeah, no. They had a raised panel design in their phone. They showed it to me and I told them, you want this kitchen in your $2 million house? Are you sure?
And this is a showpiece house.
It is.
When I think of showpiece, I don't think raised panel or shaker or double or triple shaker. I don't think any of that crap.
If you're building a rental basement, yeah, do shaker.
Yes.
Do shaker, yeah.
But if you're doing a showpiece kitchen for yourself, for hopefully you know how to cook or want to cook or want to learn how to cook,
They know how to
or
cook.
know how to cook,
Yeah.
then and have dinners and have friends and family over, then please, by all means, create a showpiece kitchen.
Yes, of course. And you want a wow factor, raised panel is not a wow factor, right?
No.
So
It's a different kind of wow.
oh, wow. That's your kitchen?
Exactly, yeah.
Wow. So I asked them, do you want a designer?
And
They said, yeah, we'll get a designer. So, but they get some numbers from few designers that they like.
then they said, wow.
Then they said, wow, of course. And they asked me, do you have a designer? Yes, I work with the designer. So I gave them her number, and her number was up high there.
Of course.
'Cause she was very nice, very nice. So they didn't like her price either. So
But did they like her? Did they like her ideas?
Yes.
So then they didn't like her price.
no.
But then,
'Cause,
then you're
they-
making
they
a stupid
think-
decision
They
then.
think this much amount of money is not worth it because we have ideas what we want
But
to do.
she's coming up, a designer's coming up with who you are as a person, a reflection of the building.
Yes.
So they're understanding who you are as a family, as a couple, whatever,
Yes.
and then they're making suggestions based on that.
Yes.
This is valuable to pay this fee to get this person to do this.
Yes.
And then they work with you
Yes.
and to make things smooth.
Yes.
Then the job goes well.
It's one of those jobs when where the husband wanted it done and wives want it done the other way. Kind
Yeah,
of.
I love those jobs where a husband
Yeah.
and wife want to build two different houses on the same
No,
property.
husband want to just build the house.
Yeah, he just wants it done.
He just
I
want it
want to
done.
come home and not see sawdust.
Yes. It's a new build, right? It's a new build, right? So I convinced them somehow, okay, you want to get a designer for your main floor, first floor, attic, your washrooms. I get it. Get a designer for your main floor, for your living room, for your kitchen,
At least.
at least.
Yes.
Yeah? So I somehow convinced them.
And they agreed to that? Really?
I'm just convincing them.
So you're still working on that?
Yeah, I've been doing this for 7-8 days now. Back and forth, back and forth.
Are you
Designer.
not getting frustrated by this job, about this
I
clientele, and just wondering how is the rest of this job going to go?
As soon as they get a design,
Then you just go to work. You just start doing the job.
yes, because they have no idea how spray foams, drywalls, anything else going to work. They have no idea, right? They want the lipstick.
They're going to miss so many things that are going to be problems later on when they move into their brand new, newly built home.
Yes, and they don't want to listen to it. That is the thing, lack of
Because in the
education.
back of their head, they're just seeing $150K for what you're bringing,
Yeah.
and then whatever the designer's charging, which I guarantee you is more than $150K.
And I don't want to tell you that I'm charging them 150K. I'm charging half of that. Less than
So
half.
you're even taking a pay cut.
Less than half of that.
So
Just because he's a friend of friend
Got
and
it.
he want to get it done. Just because of that. He told me, finish it, you have your trades, you have your flooring guys, and then you can sub out the rest of things and then just help him finish it. The guy, he been trying to build this for a year now. It's still on framing stage for a year. They're losing so much money on the house. That's the same way it is for more than a year.
So the house is not moving forward right now.
No. But I got involved in this for 20 days ago, and we made few decisions. We are moving in a direction, but we're still hanging in with the designer.
So, okay, Christian, you know that the jobs are just going to get bigger. The challenges are just going to get bigger. Are you not concerned that at some point you might have a big problem one time, right, and have to deal with that?
I want the big problem.
When I say a big problem, like clients not paying you big bills, clients taking advantage of situations at the
I
end
don't
of the
want
build.
that. No
I know,
one wants
I know,
that.
but that's part of construction sometimes, right?
It is.
It's a shame that clients overbuild and they might turn around and blame you because you came up with so many great ideas and we couldn't say no.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now you're like a Superman where you convince somebody to like it's Inception or something like that. I made you do all this. No, I just made you. I offered solutions.
Yeah.
You liked them, but there was a bill attached to all of that. And then all of a sudden you finish the job, the final bill comes in, you give it to them, and they say, I'm not going to pay this.
We were expecting this much. Why is it this much?
No, but even if you've kept them in the loop and you've told them the whole time, you guys bought tile that was 4 times the cost of what you were supposed to buy. You bought hardwood that was 5 times the cost.
Yes.
You added all these extra features that were never part of the original scope. So these are all extra numbers. How can you be surprised now at the end of the build?
Every time when something like this happens, every time then when there's a change, I tell them this is how much extra this is going to be. Make a decision, talk to your bank, talk to your bank account, talk to your wife, make a decision, let me know.
Do you get the money right then and there? Once you wait till the end?
I've made payment structures this way that...
Just for the changes?
No, for the changes. When, let's say if they make... after dry walls and between finished trims, they make a change, so they have to pay that amount with the paycheck of finished trims.
Good.
Because at the end, I'm leaving 5%.
At the end, you're leaving 5%, but at the end, if they don't pay all those changes up until the end, I guarantee you.
I be blunt about it with them, and I tell them, like, if I'm not getting paid, I will stop the build. I'm not moving forward after this. So let's say we are done with trims, and you haven't paid me in a week, I'm not moving ahead.
How do they respond to that?
We're going to pay you. We're not running anywhere. Okay, right? You have to trust us. And the same thing I tell them. You have to trust me as well. I'm not running away with your money.
Trust is a two-way, right?
Yes, it's a two-way street.
Yeah, but a lot of contractors live on a cul-de-sac, right? So it's a shame because I think that anybody who gets into construction is that this happens. It always comes up.
It does.
And nobody's really perfected the best way to handle that situation. The only thing I've ever said is just make sure that you track everything as being changed and get paid for everything that's being changed right then and there, and don't leave it as a last slice of the pizza at the very end of the job, hoping that they'll pay you all these changes, because they will not. They'll use it as leverage to not pay you.
Yes.
To reduce the price.
You know, as a new person in the industry.
I know everyone is taking advantage. I told it. I've been through it. Anyone that I've ever spoken to on the show, off mic, they tell me. I get conversations. People send me. I want to talk to you about something, a situation that's going on, man. I figure that maybe you've gone through this. And I'm going, yeah, of course I have.
Everyone I know. Everyone I know.
It's part of the business.
Every single time.
So where's the business going to be 5 years from now?
I want to be a high performance house builder.
You're going to get into that world.
Net zero houses.
You got to find the right clientele for that. You got to find the clientele.
I have to educate them, right? So there's the secretive project I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, I remember.
It's a 10,000 square foot cabin built in Muskoka.
Nice.
It's for a very good friend of mine, and it's on lake. So I've never dealt with lakes. I want to take on this project. We're talking about it.
Just to add tethers to all your tools and everything, man, because when they fall into the water, you can at least try to grab the rope and then get the tool back. Try.
Yeah, like their deck is on the water, but rest of the house is on the land. So
do you have to take a boat to get to it?
No.
Okay, so there's roads.
There's roads.
Okay,
but
not bad.
Unmaintained road, right?
Okay.
But it's not bad. It's 25 acres of property right in the middle of nowhere.
When you plan on starting that one?
Next year.
Good for you for getting that. I mean, honestly, 5 years into the business and getting that in the word of mouth and all of a sudden getting that kind of a build.
Yeah. Okay. So this happened, the guy from Treasure Hills, right? So I did at least 17, because I had 3 teams up and running.
Yeah.
The boys that works with me are great. I'm very lucky to get them boys, because I get it. People with a very big budget might get 10, 15 teams at the very first year of their business.
Yeah.
But a guy like me, I had a very little amount of investment. I only had money to buy tools and a trailer and a van. So these boys, they are very good, right? They all are studying construction in Niagara College. They are around. They live with me, because I live alone. I don't have my family here. The boys who work with me lives in my house.
Okay.
Yeah. So the boys are very good. So what we did is we were doing apartment renovations in Newmarket, and then we did some in Cambridge. We did some in Hanover.
You don't mind driving all over the place? That's a lot of driving.
I'm hungry.
A lot of driving.
I'm hungry.
I was
building a profile, right?
Yeah. But
So
I wanna ask you about what tool brand you're using.
yes,
It's not yellow.
it is.
It's yellow.
It's yellow, but
Just because you're an immigrant coming from India, that's why I was thinking it's not yellow. But why is it yellow?
just because
The
to
first-
start this business, I had investment from my old man.
Okay, that's
So
why.
I got with I want yellow because I've been working with yellow ever since I started this job.
Okay.
Right. The first 2 months when I was working with the handyman, I had RIOP.
Yeah, that
I'm
makes
not,
sense.
I'm not proud of it, but
No.
they were
Listen,
okay.
Everybody starts. I had
Yes.
rigid. Everybody starts at
Yes.
some place, right?
I had my own drill that I very first bought was
Yeah,
rigid.
yeah.
It's a old. I bought it off Facebook Marketplace, but it still works. It still works. So I have the shop in back of my house. I do a kind of woodwork because I love woodworking.
Yeah.
So I do woodwork back there. So I have my old, the tools that I bought off Marketplace. I have all of them stack up there. I use them. I don't take out tools from my trailer or my van.
What van you driving?
GMC.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beat down, very old van.
It's
very
not
old.
brand new, $100,000 and
No,
fully
it's
decked
paid
out.
off. It's paid off.
It's paid off, right?
yeah,
And
and-
it serves its purpose.
Yes, and before me, some truck mechanic had it. So it has built-in shelves. I didn't build anything, but it's pretty nice.
You got lucky. You got lucky online finding that van, man.
Yes.
That's a unicorn.
And I only paid $4,000 for it.
What year?
2002.
Still in good shape.
Very good set, no rust.
All you got to do is just change the brakes and the tires, and that's
Yes,
it. And
sir,
maintain it.
and
That's
an
it.
engine
Done.
oil.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
I love it. But I'm more of a truck and trailer kind of guy.
You're not always doing work in the city, then.
Yeah, because Niagara Falls is not very populated.
No, so there's space on the streets.
Yes,
there's
and you
space
can
on the
back up
You can back
trailers.
up trailers.
Yeah, I'm a trailer kind of guy.
I see guys come into the city with trailers, and I'm like,
That's not the best place to come.
yes.
The reason for me buying a van was working in the city. And when I was doing a rental apartment in Newmarket, I had very hard time backing up my trailer. Even though the building had a parking lot on the back, but let's say if I go with my truck front, I have to back all the way the trailer because I cannot take a U-turn. So what I used to do is early morning, I used to back up my trailer there. And I stay whole day, and the evening when there's more traffic, I just come out front. That's when I thought I need a van.
Where's the name of the business come from?
It's Mahakaal means almighty, the
Is that what it
strongest,
means? Yeah.
strongest, and it's also it's a god back in India. Mahakaal, it's a god. People worship them, so I'm a fan of them. The statue actually it's Mahakaal here.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a god, and I don't believe in God that much, but my family did, and then I kind of had this in my heart. Yeah, God is there because I think there are positive and negative energies.
Of course.
There is, right?
Of course, yeah.
So, yeah, it's come from there.
So I'm curious, friends and family back there,
Yes.
what do they make of you now? Because in my eyes, you're a success in construction here,
Yes.
and you're only going to get better.
Yes.
So what do they think of you?
I'm somewhat better, because when I was in school, when I was kid, nobody thought of me this way. I am doing best among all of my classmates, the best, but still, somewhat better for me. Yeah, I wanna go up there because I'm young. I'm 23. I'm single. I don't have nothing much to do.
Now is the time.
Yeah, now's the time. Yeah, next 5 years.
So when are you going to get off the tools? When you're 40?
Yeah.
But then by then you'll have teams working on and doing jobs. and-
Yes, I am planning to run another team by end of next year. There's one thing that I'm good at is managing things,
Okay.
managing teams, managing time, all these things. So after work, when I go home, I take a pen and paper. I'm not a computer guy. I'm a pen and paper guy. I take a pen and paper. I sit down and I write down what I have to do tomorrow, what needs to be done. And then I call all my boys, what did you do today? I'm going to come tomorrow, check it out. And they tell me, okay, this is what we did. This needs to be done tomorrow. I make all that list. And then I see what material do I need,
Of course.
or who needs to be there, because a boy of mine, he don't know how to do tiles. A boy of mine don't know how to do mud.
Yeah.
All the things. So I juggle boys. You have to go there tomorrow. You have to go there tomorrow. So I make all those things. Early morning, I wake up at 6:30. I call everyone, wake up, wake up, wake up. I tell them, this is what we are doing today.
Yeah.
And that's how it goes.
That's how it's going to be for a little while. You eventually get off. I guarantee you'll get off the
I'm
tools.
getting better at it. I'm getting better
Yeah.
at managing things, but I love tools. This is the first reason I came into this business, right? To work with my hands. I don't want to sit in an office all day.
But that's what you studied in school.
I never studied. I wasn't good at studying, right?
The girlfriend at the time was filling
Yeah.
out all the assignments and submitting them on your behalf.
Yes. And I got good marks, good percentile,
Yeah.
right? But little they know I wasn't the one. I got my degree. I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I love in the streets. I studied everything on the job sites, right? I was in the school. I had a construction degree, but I don't know shit from school. I don't know single shit from school. Okay, so one day there was, I think it was framing class. And the professor was on a job site, on a Zoom call, telling us how to frame a house. You cannot teach how to frame a house on a video call. No, you cannot.
Can't.
You cannot.
You have to be there.
And how I learned is, I used to reach out to some framer crew, and I tell them, don't pay me single thing. Take me to your job site 2-3 days. Tell me how to frame a house.
And that's it.
That's it. I hustled a lot. I run around a lot. I went out with concrete finishers to learn how to finish concrete. A little bit. Let's say if I'm finishing up some steps, I'll do it myself. If I'm doing a driveway, I'll call concrete guys. Right? So just to know the basic knowledge of concrete, all those things. That's how I did. I reached out to persons. Don't pay me anything. I'll be there. I'll bring you coffee. Just teach me how you guys do this.
What's the one thing that you saw when you were actually looking at all the different trades and you wanted to learn from each of those trades? What was the one consistent thing that you saw from each of the trades that were doing their job well?
The one that were doing the job well were, the first thing first, they were taking care of the prep. The prep was the main thing.
Yeah.
So I worked with the Finnish carpenter once. He went to job site when it was on framing stage. Mm-hmm. It wasn't boarded up. He told me, look at the walls, look at the crowns, all these things. Because when it's done, after drywall, you're going to come here and do these trims. So you're going to price out accordingly. That's how I learned. That's prep.
Just the prep.
Is the must.
Exactly.
Prep is the must.
So why don't you get a client to ask you to be the designer and then just go and watch a designer and just offer out that service? No? No? Krishna, we got to wrap it up. I got to do the 12 questions with you. I'm very curious to get your answers.
Oh.
Everybody,
I didn't know there was a test here.
There's no test. There's no test. It's just curiosity. How do you pronounce it again? Sorry.
Mahakaal.
Mahakaal. Mahakaal Builders, www.mahakaalbuilders.ca, info@mahakaalbuilders.ca, and on Instagram it's mahakaal.builders. Ready for this, man?
Yes. Let's see if I'm going to pass.
You passed. You already got pass grade. What is your favorite construction word?
What the fuck?
What's your least favorite construction word?
Least favorite construction word is, this is going to be extra.
What turns you on in construction?
Fine details.
What turns you
Exterior
on?
fine details.
Exterior? More than interior?
More than interiors. Because I want to be a net zero builder, right? I want to be a high performance builder, right? So when I saw those things, when someone is doing very nice flashing, all those things, making it airtight, air seal, I love it. It turns me on. I even get a boner. No.
What turns you off in construction?
Shitty work.
Yeah. What's your favorite curse word?
It's a Hindi word.
Let's hear it.
Banchod.
Banchot?
Yeah, it's called motherfucker, sister fucker.
Not sister fucker.
Yes, sister fucker. But it's most common back in
That's
India.
almost harsher than motherfucker. I
Yes,
don't understand why, but that just.
But it's the most common word back in India, right? Most
Bantra?
banchod.
Banchot.
Yeah.
Okay. I always want to learn. What's your favorite vehicle in the entire world?
My favorite vehicle in the entire world is some beefed up G-Wagons.
G-Wagons. Least favorite vehicle in the entire world?
Least favorite vehicle is, I guess, Kia Soul. I hate
And
that.
their advertising sucks with that stupid hamster bullshit.
I hate
Can't
that.
stand that. What construction sound or noise do you love?
I love when we back butter a tile.
That sound of the scraping?
Yes. Like I hate it at the same time sometimes. Well, I don't feel like
Because
it.
the tile gets heavier and heavier. And then you
Yes,
gotta-
but I love that.
What construction sound or noise do you hate?
Bang, dropping something on floor.
Finished
Anything.
floor? Any floor?
Finished floor.
But
for
any
sure.
object?
But dropping a tool, let's say.
I always did this thing where I wouldn't drop the tool or I was just too lazy to kind of bend down and put it on the floor.
Yeah.
I would lift up my leg and let it
Drop on the
hit
leg.
my toe. Like
Yeah.
my
That's how I do it.
And then it kind of cascades down.
Easily, yeah.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Other than my own, I want to be a car mechanic because I love old school cars. I have this 1975 Cadillac that I'm working on. It drives. It's
Which
a
Cadillac?
A Deval.
You got a DeVal?
Yeah, 1975. I posted it on the page.
Yeah, it still has the fins on it. What color is it right now?
Matte black. And with the rough rooftop.
How is it in like the condition? The interior is good?
Very nice. It had original miles, 2,700.
That's it?
That's it.
Old guy was driving it.
Yes, and the power seat works, power windows works.
What?
Yes, sir.
75.
It's loud as hell.
And it's probably longer than your van and trailer put together.
Yes, sir.
What profession would you not like to do?
Any IT or desk job.
If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at those pearly gates?
Congratulations, you made it.
Krish, thank you so much, man, for being on the show. Really appreciate you being on the show.
I
man.
love it here.
I know you were nervous at the first, and you're like, my English is not that good. Your English is perfect, man.
I learned it, yeah.
Nah, it's fine. Everybody, Mahakaal.
Mahakaal.
Builders, www.mahakalbuilders.ca, info@mahakalbuilders.ca, and then on Instagram, mahakal.builders. All the best to you, bro. Honestly,
Thank you
man.
so much.
Just
Thank
stay
you
in
so
touch. Drop me an email all the time and whatever.
Yeah.
I love seeing the work that you're doing. So next year when you start planning that 10,000 square foot cottage, I want to see it, man.
I want to be there every day. I'm excited.
How are you going to commute from there to?
I'm going to get a house there, a rental.
But what about the jobs that are going on here?
I can manage. I love driving.
Yeah?
First thing first. Yeah. So let's say if I have some rental properties that's going down here, I have my boys which are very nice. I can leave them on a job for 5 days. I can go there 6 days and see what they did wrong, and I can get them changed, right? But most of the time, what happens is I didn't find anything wrong.
Good for you, man. All right. Thank you so much, bro. Appreciate it.
Please.
Angelina, we
I
out of
love
here.
it
Thank
here.
you.